Good morning, everyone. This is Royce. I come back at you with yet another Let's Try. So, nuts and Fruit Loops weren't the only thing I got yesterday. We're going back to the snack aisle. Already? Already. Because we're trying two branded beef, Angus beef and American Wagyu. Wood smoked, cattleman's cut, Yellowstone branded. I don't know if Yellowstone is like a if this is like a new brand of food, or if this is actually branded for the show Yellowstone. Because I got my brother a Yellowstone branded cast iron for his birthday. Anyway, let's give the Angus beef a try. Hmm. It's like a slightly more. It's like a better version of a Slim Jim. Um, you can actually taste like there's a chew to this from the actual like smoked meat. I'm curious if for this process, do they make the sausage stick first and then smoke it, or do they smoke the meat and then make the sausage stick? Because I would honestly believe either. Yeah, because this meat is definitely smoked. But like, I'm not sure if it would have that same texture if the meat were raw when it went into the sausage stick. I think now my brother said this, and I don't know how true it is. Angus beef is the only protected like food trademark or whatever you call it in the U.S. Similar to how in Europe you're not allowed to call it champagne unless it's from the Champagne region of France. Which is why a shipment of Miller High Life on its way to a U.S. Army base in Germany got dumped into the Haber in France. Not really, but they did destroy it. It would be funny though if it's like these Americans, how dare they send this to us? We're going to do to them what they did to England. Which like it's so funny because like it's not. It, it's weird because like it's not even saying that it's champagne. It's saying that it's the champagne of beers. Anyway, that was a really good stick. I wonder how the American Wagyu will hold up. Now, I was first introduced to the concept of Wagyu, or at least the concept of, or the concept of Kobe beef on the Travel Channel. I think it was Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmer. And he showed, he talked about how they did it and showcased the, like the cows being fed wine and getting massages. Honestly, if the Hindus have it right and I have to be reincarnated, I wouldn't mind being reincarnated as a Wagyu beef cow, or as a cow in the Kobe region. Sure, my life is destined for the slaughterhouse, but aren't we all? Anyway, the reason why Wagyu beef is so. Well, Wagyu just is Japanese for beef, I believe. But the reason why the Kobe style of cattle is so popular is because their flesh is perfectly marbled. Let's see how that translates. Noticeably greasier. I would honestly believe that this is made with Kobe beef or Wagyu beef just because it has a lot of oil and goo and like grease in it off the first bite even. I was actually thinking to myself while eating the Angus beef one, man, Slim Jims are so slimy and gross compared to this, and so oily. Well, all the oil ended up in this. I'm curious though if they did actually use Wagyu. I could see it being either or. Also, this is, well, technically a second episode now, but this is the first episode recorded after the Garfield episode went up, and everyone had reacted poorly to poor Clark's presence. Unfortunately, he was in yesterday's video too. The video I recorded yesterday too. Today is Wednesday. You'll be seeing that video Saturday. Well, today is Wednesday for me. Oh, look, there's a fat pocket. You know what this kind of reminds me of? A chicharrone where you can kind of get a little bit of the fat in it. Oh. I think that's just straight up lard, isn't it? This feels like American propaganda. The Angus beef is so much better than the Wagyu. I guess technically they are both American. But, you know, like, Angus beef has a much more distinct implication. You know, the Angus style of beef. And, like, I'll be honest, I do kind of prefer a more lean cut of meat nowadays. Like, yes, fat is flavor, but, like, having gone to, so I ended up going to Texas Roadhouse 2 weeks in a row last month. Once to take my grandma and mom, and once because my dad wanted to take Jonah, my brother, and I out for dinner. Something I realized is that fat, I mean, it's good for cooking the meat. It's good for flavoring the meat, but like after it comes out of the pan, you don't really need it anymore. You can cut it out. And yeah, I know I didn't cut my fat when I had that New York strip from Cracker Barrel, but I was feeling lazy that day. So yeah, unfortunately, I gotta give it to the Angus beef on this one. Sorry, Wagyu. You'll have your time in the sun one day. Oh man, now I'm thinking of that episode again, and like Andrew Zimmer tried the Wagyu beef or the Kobe beef sashimi style, completely raw, and he talks about how it melted in his mouth. Makes me wonder how my grandma would react to steak tartare because she loves rare steak. Like her version of cooking a steak is side, serve. Like she cooks the onions and mushrooms longer than she cooks the steak. Oh man, I should do a fancy food fave on Texas Roadhouse's mushrooms too because those are so good. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Royce.